This is then investments, business 3502, and looking at chapter 3, this is question number 12. Oh, a massive textbook. Question gives us an investor buys 250 shares of Weston Corporation, a parent of Loblaws, at $80 a share. This is you, and you use $15,000 of your own money and borrow the rest. Interest on the loan is at 8%. So you as the buyer, 250 shares of Weston at $80. Margin, your amount invested is $20,000. So we can start with how much do you borrow? 250 shares at 80 per share is a $20,000 position, and margin at 15,000. So borrowing 5,000. That's pretty straightforward. Okay, so our question asks in part A, what happens to your position if the shares immediately, like I guess seconds after you buy it, $88 or stays at $80 or goes to $72? And we can set this out as a table. Then position 250 times 88. $22,000. Margin is still, or sorry, the deposit amount is still 15,000, and the gain on the entire portfolio 22,000 minus the starting position of 20,000, so up 2,000, and divided by our starting position of 20,000. We have a 10% gain on the portfolio. 2,000 divided by 15,000, 13.3% gain on the investor's margin. Okay, so part 2. Price stays the same, so $80, no change. 250 times 80, 20,000, minus 15, the original equity, no change, no change, no change. 3, price goes to $72. Now it's only worth 18,000. Margin at, that's not quite correct. The original deposit is 15,000, but the gain and loss on the position, 18,000 minus original value of 20,000. The position is down 2,000 divided by 20, of course, is a drop of 10%, and 2,000 on the margin amount is a loss of 13.3% on margin, which serves to illustrate if you borrow, your position is magnified as things go up, but magnified if things go down. Whereas the position itself only fell by 10%, the return on the amount of margin was increased to 13.3%. Okay, so part B. Minimum margin is 30%, where would be a margin call? And our formula for margin, market value of the assets minus the loan over market value of the assets. So market value minus loan divided by market value must equal at least 30%, 0.3. So setting that up, 250 shares times price minus the amount borrowed, $5,000, divided by 250 times price at 0.3. So multiplying that through is 0.3 times 250p is going to equal 250p minus 5,000. And so 75p equals 250p minus 5,000. We'll just rearrange. So 5,000 is going to equal 250 minus 75, 175p, divide by 175 on both sides to clear. $28.57 per share is her limit, or your limit, and you'll have a margin call. So that answers A and B. The rest just adds things like changing amounts of the margin deposit or adding interest costs to it. So that'll suffice for this. This is especially at what price does the investor receive a margin call with minimum margin set at 30%. So we'll leave it at that.